Hey everyone, welcome back to MLWorks. In this video, we'll be discussing a very popular library called Docling, which was recently released by IBM. And the key part of Docling is that it is used for document parsing and its ability to handle various data input formats like DOCX, PPT, PDF, HTML, and whatnot into a very beautiful document, which is either can be in a markdown or a JSON or plain text. Okay, so there are various output format that it supports, and also along with that it also has integration with various tools, LLM tools, especially HuggingFace and then Llama Index, LangChain and whatnot. Okay, so with that, what will happen, right? Once you parse the document, you can use these LLMs to work on top of this parsed document and understand what the document is talking about. And if you are trying to build an application, you can use this specific library which will be part of your application, and which will provide you an end-to-end flow of what parsing a document and understanding what the document is talking about. So you can build an application out of this specific library also. Okay, so with that, what we'll do right in this video will be just installing how to install Docling. Okay, we'll set up the environment and we'll talk about bunch of things like basic document parsing from PDF to Markdown, okay, which is very simple. And then we'll also talk about how Docling is integrated with the hardware aspect, which is GPU, to enhance the way it processes or parsing the document. Okay, that is there. And then we'll also talk about integration with HuggingFace. Okay, so there are a bunch of things we'll be talking about in this video. Let's get started. So first thing first, so this is, you can see right from the image. Okay, this Docling is taking all the documents, parsing it and creating doc, which can be either in JSON format, a markdown or figures or anything. And then its integration with these different tools, and which will help you to provide insights into the document, and you can end up creating your own GenAI app. Okay, so with that, let's get started with the environment setup. So first thing is, there are three terminal commands that you have to run to set up the Docling environment. First is virtual environment. Okay, then we are activating our virtual environment using the source command, and then we are installing Docling inside it. So what I've understood while installing Docling, right, it is like a lot of dependencies are there because we are trying to do OCR modeling on top of documents, and there is like various other open source models that can be integrated, because since we supports other libraries, so it is able to, it has to have supports for different dependencies, so it installs all those. Okay, since I also said about the accelerator like hardware, so it has to download other libraries like with respect to NVIDIA. Okay, it does all that in the backend. Okay, so there are a lot of dependencies for Docling, and you can also modify that. If you require only CPU version of it, then you can download specifically the CPU version of it. Yeah. So this is a simple step for setting up Docling. And then once that is done, okay, so what we do is we import docling.document converter and import the document converter class. Okay, this is the first step to parsing a document from any source. It could be a web URL or it is a document in your local machine. Okay, so first, once we import this document converter, what we do is we take a HTTPS URL, which is nothing but some research paper, consider, right? So once we just mention that in the source variable, what we do is we initialize a document converter. And then what happens, right, in the backend, when you initialize document converter, it will download models like detection model, recognition model, and other dependencies to work with the document. So once that is done, we can just do converter.convert and pass the URL, that is, which is your PDF, and that will just generate the results. Okay, and we can get the results and turn it into anything like export to markdown. Okay, so if I have here result.document. Then we can export to various things. So you have dictionary, which is, I think, JSON, I guess. I'm not sure if they have separately for JSON. Yeah, the dictionary represents the JSON. doc tags, you can turn it into HTML, markdown, plain text, everything. Okay, so that's quite easy to do. So let us run this, and I think it should not take much time. Okay, so if you can see, going to convert document batch, and then it is looking for the hardware, and it is processing the document, which is the one which we downloaded. Okay, in the backend it is downloading the content and then trying to parse it, and all that is happening while we are just running this, right? So it will take few seconds. So yeah, I think that is done. So before, we don't know, right, if this is correct or not even. Okay, so this is what this is a document, okay, which is nothing but this specific document. This is the paper, and this is the title of the paper, Docling technical report, and these are the authors. This is version 1.0 from IBM research, and this is the abstract of the paper, and this is the introduction. Okay, and there are like a lot of details are present. Okay, right now we'll just focus on what is required. So you will see the document was parsed and it was turned into a markdown. Okay, if you see, these are markdown structure, okay, being utilized here. So you can see this is the title of the paper, this is the version 1.0, the authors, and this is the details of the IBM research, and this is the abstract and the introduction, and so on. So if you click the scrollable element here, you will see all the information. Okay, so let me just this is the top. Okay, we talked about these, and here you will see wanted to show about the tables. Okay, you will see the table here, how it has captured the table details and maintained that consistency across what all the columns. Okay, and there is no confusion here, and then all the details on the references and the URL, corresponding URLs and everything. Okay, so it has managed to do it quite quickly. Okay, I don't think it took more time for converting this parsing this document. It took around 23 seconds because I also have a GPU, okay, CUDA. So it is, yeah, obvious that it will be much faster than CPU version. But we'll also try it out with the CPU. Okay, so this is for what we downloaded it from some URL. So similarly, we can download it into local machine and perform the same. Okay, we don't have to do anything, any changes, just the source path will change. Instead of a URL, you will have the path to the local machine where the PDF is stored, and then you will get the same results. Okay, because it is the same model in the backend which is running, and you will get the same results. There is no change in what the results we get because the same models have been used to extract the information. So this is again from local machine, how you can get the parse the document. So I won't talk about that. That's enough for this because this is quite simple. Okay, just export to Markdown. Now let's talk about utilizing the accelerator to parse documents quickly. So here, okay, we are just importing the basic packages like JSON for converting to JSON format or storing into a JSON file, logging it, time to understand the time taken for without GPU and with GPU, how long it takes for parsing the document, a path library. And these are some of the packages or modules that you have to use: accelerator device, accelerator option, PDF pipeline options. So these are like different modules which will help you to parse the PDF and also utilize accelerator like GPU to efficiently parsing the document, okay, by you creating multiple threads in the backend. Okay, so that's why we have all these options, and we are also loading the base models, input format, and then the simple thing what we did earlier, which is document converter and PDF format option. Okay, these are like dependencies to parse the document and also utilize accelerators. Okay, so this is the importing part. Okay, now let's talk about how to utilize accelerators, right? So let me just this is basic config for logging. Okay, and then I'm passing my document which is stored locally, which is Docling document, which we saw earlier. This is the same document, we'll be using it. And let me go here. So it also Docling provides various other supporting modules like PY, PDFM, and these with ECOCR and Tesseract. These are OCR models, okay, which will help you to extract content from images or documents. Okay, these are different models, so it has integration with all these models also. Okay, so first what we do is we create a pipeline options, and this is a PDF pipeline option. Okay, this is we are initializing it, and what are the kind of things this PD pipeline option should be able to do. So it should be able to do OCR, like from images it can extract the content. It can extract content from table structure. We are passing that as true, and do cell matching. Okay, that is there, structure options, and then it has to understand language, and then accelerator options. We are selecting auto. If there is a GPU, it will automatically select it and run as 4 num threads. 4 threads will be utilized. Okay, so this is for pipeline options. Now this is, we are enabling GPU for this because we have set up accelerated device.auto. Okay, this is there. And now we are just creating document converter and passing this pipeline option. Okay, how we want to convert, what we have to utilize in our system to convert our parsing the document. Okay, it has to use the hardware, and it has to do this table structure, it has to parse, and it has to do OCR and everything, and that is there. And next, this is with the GPU. Okay, this whole thing. Next is without GPU, we are only using CPU for it, and all the options are same. Okay, all the options are same, only one change, which is the OCR option. Here we don't use GPU, is false. Okay, we are not using GPU, we are using CPU only, and the rest of the things are same. Okay, no more changes. Now what we do is, next we call the function, which is document converter without GPU and with GPU. What we have initialized here, with GPU and without GPU. So with GPU, let's talk about with GPU first. We are starting the time, calling for parsing the document, and then we are ending the time. Okay, and then what we do is we export the results either as JSON first. Okay, this is JSON, and then plain text, then markdown, and then document tokens. In 4 different ways we are storing the results, and this is for GPU. Okay, it will use hardware like CUDA in the backend. Now without GPU, the same set of things. We just call the function without GPU and pass the input document and get the 4 results. So let us run this one. Okay, this will take some time because it has to run 2 times, one without GPU and one with GPU. Okay, let's see that. So this was earlier experimentation, right? What I saw was finished converting document length. With GPUs, it took 21.4 seconds, and without GPU, it took 31.2 seconds. Okay, so this was earlier experimentation, result of earlier experimentation. And let's understand now. Okay, so this is same. Okay, with GPU, document converted in 21.66 seconds with GPU. Now comes the part of without GPU. And if you see, right, it is using accelerators, but here it's not using accelerator, it is just informing us there are like accelerator is present. Okay, now it will take around 30 seconds because that was the earlier result we got. Let's wait a few more seconds. So yeah, so earlier with GPU it took 21.66. Now without GPU it took 31.54 seconds. Okay, for parsing the content. Now as I said, so these are getting stored in some file. Okay, let me open those files. First is JSON. So you will be able to see this JSON, which is schema for this. Now Docling. Okay, so first to find technical, yeah, so you can understand it, technical report. So here is the technical report. Okay, so this is parsing everything. This is the author's name. Okay, all these are present, right? If you see here, this is the author's name and everything. So you can see all the information getting extracted in JSON format. Now we'll talk about markdown, which is much more like beautiful. Okay, instead of more JSON, it is a lot more easier to understand this. So here we have technical report, version 1, author name, IBM research details, abstraction, introduction and everything. So it is kind of what maintained that structure, right, of the document from the PDF to Markdown. Okay, that's not the information is much more easy to understand here in Markdown. And in text, I think we'll see the same set of information, which is again, I think it shows with Markdown kind of style. Okay, when we are storing it as text also. Okay, so we have all the information here as well, and DOCX is another format. Okay, this is Docling dog. So these are like each line has its own location right inside the document. So it is able to tag each of those points, and we're getting the information here. Yeah. So this is with respect to accelerators, where you can set up GPU with GPU, without GPU, and parse the documents. Now what we'll do, right? Next we'll talk about custom OCR, where you can download a model from HuggingFace and use it with Docling to parse the document. So for that, what I do, right? I install Rapid OCR ONX runtime, because the model is stored in ONX format in HuggingFace. So I install this package here, and then I import snapshot download from HuggingFace Hub. Next, we'll be importing other packages which we see earlier, right? Along with that, one important thing, which is Rapid OCR option, because Rapid OCR is one of the repo inside HuggingFace which provides various libraries for various models for OCR. Okay, so we are importing that options here from Docling, Rapid OCR options. And then what we do is just import the other set of things like conversion result, document converter. All these options we have already seen in the previous cells. Okay, so let me run this. So this is already done. It's already installed. Now let's understand how we can use the library from HuggingFace, right? HuggingFace library for downloading the models. So the first thing is we mention the OCR repo ID here, and then this will be our download path. Okay, and then we select the different models that are required for performing OCR. Okay, so the first is the detection model, which is this one. Okay, and then recognition model, which is this one, and then we have classification model, which is this one. We download all these three and then store it here, and then we combine all of them together, which becomes our OCR options, and which becomes integrated with the pipeline, PDF pipeline option. Okay, so we download from HuggingFace and then become part of what Docling here in the pipeline option. Okay, and the next step is what we have done throughout this video, which is document converter and passing the pipeline option. Okay, so once this is done, here what we do, right? This is where we get the conversion result, and which is nothing but, again, right, we get the document and turn it into Markdown, JSON, or whatever. Okay, so this is that. Now once we run this, so it will download the OCR model if it is not present. Okay, that will take some time, and then it will utilize the GPU based on the kind of config you set up. Okay, so if you want to use GPU acceleration, you must do certain things. Okay, so I'm not doing that because the time taken for parsing the document using Rapid OCR is quite small. Okay, because if you see here, finish converting the document, this one, into 11.2 seconds. Okay, this is quite taking less time compared to other approaches which we saw, which was using easy OCR, and Rapid OCR is quite fast, hence the name Rapid. Okay, so it was able to do that, and then we get the details here again. So we are able to see the information, table information, and all the details as was seen earlier, right? We get all the information here also. So we are able to use custom models from HuggingFace. Okay, so we are able to parse the documents irrespective of whether it is stored in local or it is taken from web. Okay, so we can utilize the GPU if required. If you are only having CPU, you can avoid that also. So yeah, so we have seen a couple of things in this video. Okay, one is just simple document parsing, and then how to use the accelerator, and then how to use custom integration with HuggingFace. So with that, I'll be concluding this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something in this video. Thanks.